members that aren't feeling well. The first one is Catania, Mama Italia. She's been sick for a while, like for a few weeks, like 3 weeks, maybe even longer now. I just wanted to wish her a speedy recovery. And I hope you're okay. And Sealy Girl, her and her family has been sick too. I think Sealy Girl is okay. But I just wanted to send out some love to you, Silly Girl. And Snoop Dogg, I believe it's Snoop Dogg 25, 27. I could be wrong with the numbers, but I hope that you are feeling well also. A lot of people have been sick lately. If any more of my subscribers, if you guys aren't feeling well, I hope you pull through and get better soon. I have a book here, and I've been buying all these books from Amazon, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's a bookcase full of books behind me. But this one kind of caught my eye. It's called Aunt Irma Cope book. Yeah. I was trying to see what year this was published. McGraw-Hill Book Company. This was in New York. Let me see if I can see the year of this. Oh, 1979. Wow. Yeah, 1979. So, but yeah. I said there's a lot of books behind me. There's another book, short stories. So I know some of you guys like when I do the readings. So let's get started. The first chapter is How Do I Like Me So Far? All the way to Jill's cocktail party, I had that feeling of exhilaration, like when your gelatin mold comes out in one piece, or you grab the door of a pay booth in the restroom just before it slams shut. Now you know this book is old. She said a pay booth. We haven't had a pay booth in years. For the first time in a long time, my life was coming together, and it felt good. I no longer anguished over what I looked like. I could pass a mirror without looking at my neck and being reminded I hadn't made homemade chicken soup in a while. I had come to grips with the domesticity and no longer believed that unmade beds cause shortness of breath. I want to bring this in just a little bit closer. Okay, so I'm feeling a little bit. Okay. My husband's infatuation with Angie Dickinson had wound down, and I noted and she was a sort of like a sex symbol in her day. Um, she played in a lot of good movies. I can't think of the names top of my head, but yeah. All three kids were not only speaking to us, but our 24-year-old daughter openly displayed a curiosity as to how to turn on the stove. I was becoming more assertive, refusing to honk when I loved Jesus. I no longer inhaled around my smoker friends. The pressures of childhood raising were easing off. I stopped feeling guilty for my children's colds, their overbites, or for that matter, allowing our daughter to be born without pon-pon hands. I stopped eating chocolates in the closet, dedicating my life to putting toilet seats down or pretending to feel sorry for women wearing industrial strength bras. In my awkward way, I was re-entering the human race after 20 years of Edith bunkering it. My husband disliked parties. He called them Miracles Olympics, where people stood around all night talking about their dogs, hysterectomies, and eating bait off a little round cracker. If our social life were left up to him, the high spot of my week would have been watching the hot wax drip down our car at the car wash. Her husband is funny though. He said the parties are varicose Olympics. When people get older, some of us get varicose veins. I guess that's what he meant. My eyes fairly danced as we entered the room, and I spotted my old friend Phyllis. I spotted my old friend Phyllis. I hadn't seen her in ages. Phyllis, I shouted, how long has it been? Do you still bowl with the league on Tuesdays? Phyllis set down her glass without smiling. Bowl. That was only transference of aggression to keep me from dealing with my realties head on. Come on, I laughed. 86 wasn't that bad a score. You remember how I used to have anxiety attacks when I emptied the sweeper bag? Well, the bottom line was, in crisis situations, I couldn't handle. Which is what you'd expect from a Gemini, right? So I began to read self-help books to raise my consciousness level. Right now, I'm reading Sensual Needlepoint by Candy Summers. She wrote Erotic Leftovers and Kiki Lent. Sensual Needlepoint, I said, gulping my drink. Believe me, she whispered, you will never make another French knot for as long as you live. By the way, you belong to the Cope of the Month Club Guild, don't you? I shook my head. Every month you get a self-help book on how to improve yourself. Of course you've read Fear of Landing by Erica Wrong and Dr. Dreyer's new book. I hope this sexual revaluation doesn't end before I'm drafted. Phyllis, I said, what's happened to you? You used to be so shallow. She ignored my comment. Incidentally, why are you paranoid about kissing people? Hello? I'm not paranoid. Yes, you are. When you approached me just now, you extended your your hand. You are inhibited. I'm not inhibited. I don't kiss you because I've been eating Roquefort. I guess Roquefort. When was the last time you told Irma how you felt about her? I looked over the crowd. Irma who? Irma, you, that's who. You know I won't like to talk about me in front of myself. It's embarrassing. I knew you masquerade your true feelings behind cheap jokes. It's just like you to make light of something serious. But frankly, I don't know how much longer you can sit by and watch the rest of the world probe into their inner minds and understand the heights of a man's nobility in the depths of his depravity. That's beautiful. Where did you read that? In the National Enquirer. Is there still a National Enquirer? I remember that. I don't see that anymore. In the National Enquirer, in the express lane at the supermarket. Do you know what's wrong with you? She asked, leaning closer. Sex. It should be apparent to you that it's time you got in touch with your feelings. Got to know yourself. We're moving into the 1980s, sweetie, where sex dominates everything we do. You and your husband are probably just plain bored with one another. It happens in a lot of marriages. Damn. She got straight to the point with her. Just take one look. You just take one another for granted after a while. Phyllis, I do not believe we are having this conversation. You're the one who was too shy to tell anyone you were pregnant. You told everyone you had something in the oven. She raised children who thought it took 9 months to bake a pie. Well, things are different now, said Phyllis. I know that sex is something you have to work on in a marriage. You need Clarabelle Sweet. You mean the author of The Subtotal Woman? I think I've heard of her. Heard of her, shouted Phyllis shrilly. Are you serious? Women haven't been so excited about a book since Sex Causes Fatness came out. You know, the one where the author said that making love burns up fewer calories than throwing a frisbee. I tell you what, I'll loan you my copy if you promise to return it. I do not need help from the subtotal woman. When was the last time you bathed with your husband? When we washed the dog. Do you share your husband's interest in sports? Do you create a mood for romance? Have you ever made sheets out of astroturf? Phyllis was wacko. No doubt about it. I eased away and observed my husband across the room. For a man growing through his metallic age, silver hair, gold teeth, and lead bottom, he did quite a figure. I watched him as he was joined by a girl with solar hair who was so animated I thought her face would break. As I turned, I caught Phyllis looking at me. She smiled and yelled, "Trust me, the subtotal woman will change your life." I guess this is chapter 2, the subtotal woman. Clarabelle Sweet had been on all the talk shows touting her book, The Subtotal woman. Clarabelle had long black hair and said things like, when a man's got cream in the refrigerator at home, he won't go out looking for 2% butterfat. She appeared on a sex-themed show with Merv Griffin, explained how 350 boxes of gelatin could change your life on Donahue, and made a 3-bean salad on Dinah. Oh my God. I couldn't, the other day I was telling somebody how, Betty Davis was my favorite actress. And I think the last interview that I saw her was on the Dinah show, and she was so little, and she was sitting there with her legs crossed, and she was smoking a cigarette. Like, this was, of course, years ago, but yeah, I could not think of this lady Dinah. I made 3-bean salad on Dinah. The garbanzo bean spelled out love. There was no doubt in my mind she had a Spanish doll nestled among the satin pillows on her bed. I figured that out after reading the compatible quiz. At the beginning, it bothered me to know without taking it that I'd flunk. And somehow, after 30 years of marriage and 3 children, I didn't want to know that my husband and I had been incompatible, but I couldn't resist it. Postscripts to I do. Score yourself 10 points for each correct answer. You and your husband are alone in a cabin for the first time since your marriage. He is nibbling on your ear. Do you A, nibble back, or B, tell him the toilet is running? Your husband comes home unexpectedly in the middle of the afternoon. Do you A, slip into something suggestive and make him an offer he can't refuse? Or B, leave him there while you take the car and go to a food processor demonstration? Your husband invites you to go to a convention where you will share only your evenings together. Do you A, get a babysitter, or B, regard it as a great time to stay at home and paint the bedroom? Check your husband's driver's license under sex. Does he list A, male, or B, only during a full moon? After a long, hard day, your husband drags in, feeling tired and listless. Do you A, massage his feet with witch hazel, or B, tell him all his needs is a good laxative? When you've had a bad day and need tenderness and understanding, does your husband A, wrap you in his arms and tell you he adores you, or B, read the paper and absent-mindedly scratch you behind your ear and call you the dog's name? Wow. I didn't have to score myself. The results were rather obvious. I had become a woman who said I do, but didn't from the day she got her first set of car keys. I didn't pamper my husband, and I didn't serve his needs. Maybe Phyllis was right. Maybe we have fallen into a rut at a time when we needed it most. When I thought about it, the last time he put his arms around me in a movie, I had a miniature bus caught in my throat from a checks box. Wow. I feel like a fool padding around after him. We weren't demonstrative people, never have been. On the other hand, what if he developed a craving for 2% butterfat? If Clarabelle Sweet's husband called her from the office every day just to pant into the phone for a minute and a half, maybe it was worth it. The next morning, my husband called from the bathroom. What's this? On the mirror and lipstick, I had written, 65 million women want my husband. It's just a reminder, dear, how lucky I am to have you. I'm trying to see the time. Yeah, this book is actually interesting, but I'm going to end it here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this little reading, and once again, I just hope that everyone is feeling well and you're not sick, because whatever's going around, it's kind of horrible. I'm actually feeling, I'm feeling better. Not my client, she's sick. She's been sick for about a week now. But today was the first day that she was actually up, and she went downstairs for a few days. She stayed upstairs in her room, but now she's up moving around, and she also had therapy today, which is good. But for somebody that's in their 80s, and I think it just hits maybe a little different, especially if you have other illnesses going on. But being sick doesn't feel good for anyone, so I just hope everyone is taking care of yourself and you're taking your vitamin C, like eating your oranges and your grapefruits. I know some people can't have grapefruits, especially if you're taking like certain types of medications, but yeah, it's crazy.